What methods can be applied for effective Bible study? Pick up on the meaning of key words and symbols. Christians frequently read and are familiar with commonly quoted verses. They, however, seldom know the verse that appears immediately before or after it. They seem to forget that certain key words often indicate that verses are linked and that they form a sentence or are part of a bigger passage. Reading the verses or parts of the verses preceding and following the particular verse you are meditating on will help you notice these key words and symbols more easily. You will then also understand which verses are part of the same sentence and line of thought. These preceding and ensuing portions often give the explanation or description of, or reason for, the core content of key verses of a chapter. It is important to note that, with the exception of chapter divisions in the Psalms, when the Bible books were written, the current division of verses and chapters did not exist. You should, therefore, not get stuck at the end of the verse, thinking that the message ends there. The commonly quoted encouragement regarding prayer in Philippians chapter 4 verse 6 does not end at the end of verse 6. It continues and only stops at the end of verse 7. The encouragement thus ends with a promise. This is evident from the use of the word, and, which appears at the beginning of verse 7. When doing Bible study, you therefore have to notice and appreciate the importance of connecting words such as, and, for, wherefore, and, therefore, within a particular verse and between verses. If the verse says, for, then it means that whatever appears after the word is the reason why it should be done, or why it is true. Exodus chapter 3 verse 5 says the following, and he said, Draw not nigh hither, put off thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place whereon thou standest is holy ground. The word, for, in this verse indicates that the reason Moses had to take off his shoes was because he was standing on holy ground. Consider what the Bible does not say. Simply ask the following questions. What does the verse or passage not say? And, why does the scripture not say that? When Matthew chapter 2 verse 11 says that wise men came from the east and brought Jesus 3 gifts, it does not say that there were 3, or even more, wise men. Genesis chapter 3 verse 6 explains how Adam and Eve ate the forbidden fruit in the Garden of Eden. It is, however, not correct to teach that the fruit they ate was an apple, as the verse does not specify what type of fruit it was. You may also consider what the Bible does not say concerning Bible truths and concepts, in order to understand its full meaning. You will then be able to differentiate it from those things that appear similar, such as the grace of God and the mercy of God. It is also important to consider what the Bible does not say concerning the actions of Bible characters. Just because the utterances of most of the 12 apostles were not recorded in the Bible does not mean that they seldom or never spoke when Jesus was present. Just because there is no verse in the Bible stating that Jesus laughed, does not mean that he never laughed. From his interactions with various individuals and crowds, it is apparent that Jesus experienced the same emotions as that of any other human being, since he had the nature of God as well as the nature of man.